back and give our gut reactions on all things pop culture, film, TV and theatre. We talk to legends in the creative industry and those on the rise. We game old school. We support independent creatives. Got a project? Tell us about it. Get in touch. We do all of this, and a whole lot more. Like, subscribe, get involved. Join Lance Steen, Anthony Nielsen, and the Outcasts Creative.
What's going on? Why am I not going on? What's happened? What's happened? Oh, there I am. I don't know what was going on there, but I was having some issues getting on, people. How's it going? Welcome to the Outcast Creative channel. Yeah, been a bit of a strange 48 hours. This is going to be one of the rare times when I do actually don't normally do politics and religion on my channel, but I am going to talk about democracy today, and you can't talk about democracy without talking about politics. So I'm going to breach one of the golden rules of my channel. Just on Late Night with Lancey, it's a bit more open. We tend to sort of talk about a lot of different things, a lot of different topics. If you are a fellow YouTuber, if you've got a YouTube channel, I don't care if you've got 10 subscribers or 10,000. You can come on the channel today. So let me know, and I will. Here I am. Look, got an Outcast Creative hat on, and I'll send you the link. Procto has been on before, so I think he's probably going to be joining me shortly. But yeah, I have a regular review show where we review films and TV shows every Tuesday, and the rest of the time I interview people from the creative industries: film, video, television, theatre, board gaming, you name it, music, television, and so on. Yeah, and but Late Night with Lancey is a little bit different. Basically, anyone who has a YouTube channel can come on these if I've got space. So if you're someone with a YouTube channel, like I say, I don't care how many subscribers you've got. It's not about that. I don't even mind if you've got a completely different, like I said, I don't really do politics and religion, but if your channel has a completely different philosophy to my own, I'm still going to invite you on, because I think that's my point I want to make on tonight's stream is I didn't know Charlie Kirk before. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know anything about him because I'd never heard of him, because I really sort of, you know, I try to stay out of, don't get me wrong, I'm not passively politically active. I do my own thing. I don't tell people who to vote for and stuff. I do my own thing. But I think it's very important that you have conversation, you have dialogue in politics. I'll never forget one of the things that my dad said to me. And my father was Danish, and he found the culture in the UK, particularly around politics, quite difficult from time to time. And one of the things he said to me was, I don't understand with British politicians why they don't speak to each other more. They just all shout at each other and they just to make each other look stupid. In my country, our politicians kind of chat and they have actual productive conversations, and it's like, I don't ever remember a time when we've done that in the UK. And like I said, I didn't really know who Charlie Kirk was, but I did find a clip with him debating I think at a different campus with somebody, and he said something along the lines of, I try and find the clip, you know, I think the important thing is that even if we have opposing views, is that we talk to each other and debate those views, and because failure to do that often results in violence. That's exactly what he said. Those were his exact words, and that's exactly right. Without democracy, violence is all you'll have, really. because you have dictatorships and that kind of thing. Anyway, Proctophile is here. Hello, sir.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. Yeah, I mean, terrible thing that's just happened in your country. You're Canadian. I forgot.
I wish. This point, no, it's a weird. It has been a long time since I've had this particular feeling over any event. Like the only time I've experienced something similar was way back during 9/11 when the towers fell and we're just waiting for people to respond.
Yeah.
And sure, this is one guy compared to thousands, but it's along those lines. And
I mean, 9/11 was something I never forget that either. Absolutely horrendous day, of course. I was pitching a TV show with this very iconic children's television presenter. I was actually at her house. And I think we were pitching each other's shows. She was sort of telling me about a show she had in development. I was telling her about a play I was doing. Did she want to be involved? And I thought maybe she could be in it. And I think she ended up co-producing it with me. It's a difficult time to remember all that period because this is before I had my brain injury, which was a few years after that. But I do remember, because I've got it written down, that I was round her house and suddenly her husband comes rushing in and a plane has struck one of the buildings at the World Trade Center. Turn on the TV. We turned on the TV, and just as we turned it on, POV was of a helicopter above the two towers, one of which was on fire, and I was looking at it going, oh my God, that plane must have been huge. Just as we were watching, the second one went in live. And I was like, what's that second plane doing? And and we saw it from that point of view, which is not footage I've seen repeated very often, but the news outlets do have it. I imagine it's not been repeated very often because you can probably see bodies flying out of windows and shit. But it was above, and this thing came in and I saw it rip out the side, and I was like, God damn, And the other thing the only other memory I've got of that day is when I finally went home and left her house, which was around rush hour. The tube system in London was completely empty. Everyone had already gone home. So by the time I went home, which was a couple of hours later, the whole of London had emptied. No one was in London. Everyone had left.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a crazy day. Where were you when that happened?
I was watching the news with my mother before going to school.
Right.
Yeah, that was just a thing that we did just to warm up for the day.
Did you still go to school?
I did, yeah. Yep, I was in the 7th grade.
And I mean, did you have a full class? I mean, did everybody turn up, or were there some people that didn't turn up?
I think most of us did, if not all of us. But I do distinctly remember it was just very quiet. We had, especially during our world geography and social studies class, which was a joint thing, at least for me. We all knew the gravity of the event. And as I said, we were just quietly waiting, basically, for the response, and everything was so tense. And I remember distinctly thinking or worrying about, people are going to be all up in arms, and they're not going to think rationally about it. Even though I was 13, people are going to be very emotional when they think about it, and they're not going to do their due diligence, and it's just going to make everybody look like a bunch of jackasses. And I'm worried that that's going to be the same thing here, because
there's some pretty convincing footage, isn't there, of the guy? I've seen the footage of the guy literally running across the roof right after the shot was fired.
Yeah, I've seen some.
I mean, obviously, things can be faked and everything, but that does
100%.
look pretty real. Looks real to me.
Yeah.
They're looking for someone. I mean, it's going to be, who this person turned out to be. I remember when I saw stuff kicking off on the internet, and I was like, what's going on? Something's happening. Turned on the news, and the first thing I saw was someone had been assassinated, and I didn't know who this person was. And there was footage of this quite elderly white gentleman.
Yep, I remember.
Been forced to
getting dragged away. Yeah, getting dragged away with his pants around his ankles.
And I was like, did somebody point at him and go, "It's him"? What happened there?
Apparently, from what I've heard, that guy claimed to have been the shooter, and that doesn't make any sense to me for a guy at that age.
That's got to be a false rumor. He probably said something like the shooter's over there,
maybe,
or it came from over there, or something like that. And somebody probably went, "Oh, he said he's got something to do with it."
Maybe.
I mean, that sort of stuff can escalate.
Yeah, it's all speculation at this point.
Gary, happy birthday, mate. I mean, 9/11, what a great date for a birthday.
Wow.
It was before 2001.
Well, happy birthday, Gary.
There was some movie, I can't remember what movie it was. It was an American movie, a rom-com. And part of the storyline is they're trying to find a wedding venue and they can't. All wedding venues are either too expensive or fully booked up. And the couple go to this woman who's showing them this amazing venue. Are you sure you don't have any dates available? And she goes, well, you can have 9/11.
Like, ooh.
And they're like, no. They don't want that to be their wedding anniversary, I can't, that joke was in, I think it was about 10 years after, and I was like, somebody in a meeting somewhere must have gone, we can make this gag now. But
I remember, what was it? I forget exactly when it came out, but when the first Ted movie came out, so
is that true? People were stealing hats. What, Make America Great Again? Is that true? No,
I don't know. During the movie, or the beginning of the movie Ted, they go to a comedy club and some guys are doing like stand-up improv. They're like, okay, can you give us like a holiday or a date? And they yell out 9/11. Like, can you give us a famous celebrity? Robin Williams. Come on. It's a little too soon there, buddy.
Yeah, how are you going to do a routine? One of the main reasons I wanted to do, obviously I don't do these every week after Open Bar. In case people don't know, I'm one of the moderators on Open Bar. I have also just shot the first film for Drinker and Mauler. That's another claim to fame of mine. Would you like to see some stills from
I would love to.
Because these stills are now in public domain, so I can show stills. Here is a picture of me and Drinker on set. Our set here is this huge sea that we constructed. It's called the Ocean, and it's behind us. Yeah, it took us ages to fill up that tank with water.
So you got an exclusive on that? My God.
Yeah, I got first dibs on that. This is part of the crowdfunded stuff. That's right, Axel. Yeah, and then
so the wait must have been crazy.
So, yeah, these stills are exclusive. The reason they're exclusive is because I directed the film. So here I am on set. Again, for the benefit of people watching, this is Mauler and Drinker's movie. They produced it. I was involved in producing it as well. This is me going through a scene with actor Jason Fleming on the set, and that script that he's reading was written by Mauler. And we had to change very little of it. I think there was a couple of words here and there, but I was quite keen to shoot the film that Mauler gave us without almost to do the opposite of what typically happens to a writer, which is, first of all, the studio comes in and makes all their changes, and then the producers and then the director will do that, and then by the time it gets in the hands of the actors, then the actors want to change all the dialogue as well. Now, if I was an actor and I knew the script had already changed several times from its genesis of the writer, I would probably want to do the same thing. But the reverse equation of that is, and I remember when somebody said this to me one time, when we were rehearsing something as a play a while back for a workshop, and when a writer writes a line, they have an intention behind that line. That's why they wrote it. If you've decided to shoot the script, you must already think it's good. If you haven't decided to shoot the script, you will typically go back to the writer and ask the writer to make changes. So we did have some back and forth about changes, but okay, so we kind of agreed a shooting script. So I said to Will, aka Critical Drinker, let's try and do this the non-Hollywood way, and let's try and set a new precedent here, where we're going to try and be as respectful to the material as possible, because we've decided to shoot this material. So let's shoot as close to the script as we can. And that's what we did. And we changed almost nothing. Like I said, allowing for the fact that we did have some discussions. There were some tweaks. Mauler went away and rewrote a couple of lines and things because we asked him questions and he went, oh, I hadn't thought about that with that character and that kind of stuff, And the actors did get to have an input at that level. But
that's great.
Once we got on the set, once we were in production, there were no changes. So it's very, very close to what was presented originally, and Mauler was very happy with it.
Okay, so those changes were made during like a reading.
Yeah, we had a reading.
Yeah,
this is me with my DOP, who you can tell is a Christian himself. Just take a wild guess from the T-shirt there, and I mean he does look a bit like a kind of Jesus. I call him Gandalf. This is Richard Oakes, my director of photography. I've worked with Richard now about 4 times, I think.
Yeah,
and
very, very modern interpretation.
And he, well, indeed. And do you know what? I didn't even notice he was. This is how focused I was on the film. I didn't even notice he was wearing that T-shirt with that written on it until I got this still. I don't think I read anybody's T-shirts, but I've just noticed as well that our second AC / locations manager is Richard Roberts, aka the Walrus, who's standing here with the maroon T-shirt on. He's got a paratrooper T-shirt on in that. That was another film project that we all worked on together. Yeah, nice. that I'm actually trying to get Drinker to do as the first feature film that we do together, that me and him do together.
Cool.
But this is us shooting the exterior outside. It was a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous day, and we did have some concerns when we were filming that we were all going to completely roast. So we made sure, one of the things I did was got the production manager to make sure we had absolutely tons of bottles of water, which we went through. Your crew will go through those really quickly.
Yeah, as you said, catering is priority 1.
Yeah, so that was us on set again. I think that was on the second day, and then catering again, absolutely. Yeah, we spent about I think our total catering bill was probably close to $2,500.
Damn.
This is one of my favorite stills from the movie, and I specifically asked for this still to be taken during this scene, because I said we'll probably have one poster with no actors on it, and then I think we'll have another poster which has the actors on it, and you'll use those different posters for different things. And Jason and Nick are both quite sort of recognizable faces.
Yeah.
Although the younger generation, anyone under 30 may not know who they are. I don't know. But those of us who are like 40 and over, who've seen Jason in loads of things, we tend to also remember young Sherlock Holmes with Nick, because of course he played young Sherlock Holmes. So this is them. Actually, I think this was taken in between takes, but we just got them to run the lines again so we could get that still, and it was very much had the sort of the same emotions. And then this is a pretty good one of us all watching a take, watching playback. You've got about half the unit in that. The unit was about 24 people. So the guy on the right, who looks like he's holding some body armor, is actually our firearms guy. He's got a massive collection of weapons, including a really extensive collection of World War II weapons.
Nice.
So he's got a working MG42, and I was like, oh, you know, I need to come up and have a go with that at some point. I won't be running around like you do in, you know, SS Doom Trooper or what's the 3D shoot 'em up game called? The one that started them all, Castle Liechtenstein or Castle Wolfenstein, wasn't it? Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah, it'd be either Castle Wolfenstein, Doom.
They're running around with drum barrel MG42s, firing them from the waist.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit like the smart guns in Alien, but they can do that because they're mounted on a camera harness, which they've got attached to their body, which is also attached to their body armor. I don't think
you can make it look kind of like the intro to Naked Gun or something. Just rolling around through all the different landscapes.
Something like that. But yeah, so that was, by the way, that was our smallest camera. That's
just a little hand cam.
Right, it's a Ronin, which is a statual Ronin, so it's a nice light camera. You can do a lot with it in terms of moving it around and following people. This is one of the shots where we were kind of following. And then we've got two other massive cameras on tripods just to the right out of shot of this. So we were running 3 cameras and 2 drones on the shoot.
Nice.
So there you go.
Also got to give a shout out to Duke Nukem 3D back in the day. That was a hell of a game.
Oh my god, yeah. That's I did play that. Yeah. So indeed. Just saying hello to, we've got Darth Plato in the chat as well, who's also said happy birthday to Gary. I thought Peepers was here. I don't know if Peepers, if you're still here. Not sure if you're here. Walter Poopers was here earlier. Good to see you, Wormy Spoons, as well.
Always. It's always good to see Wormy.
A lot of these guys I've actually invited on, but they were like, oh, no, I don't want to come on camera. You don't actually have to come on camera. You can be off camera like Procto.
Yeah.
Just like a radio show.
No stress.
Yeah, I mean, look, people are always telling me I've got a great face for radio. Someone told me that just the other day on Twitter. Thank you for that. I always appreciate those compliments.
A little while ago, I went to the Seattle Bacon and Beer Fest and met one of our local radio hosts.
Oh yeah,
that chick was gorgeous. I don't know what the hell everybody was telling.
Well, so. What's the mood like in the States right now?
It's all very, very somber at the moment. Not a.
I mean, is there any?
Not a lot of positive vibes.
You're probably more up to date than we are.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of more news in terms of catching the suspect, or news on? Have they ID'd him yet or anything?
Not that I've heard. The FBI has, shipped around a couple of photos of a currently unknown suspect. But as far as I'm aware,
he sort of looks vaguely Oriental, from what I can see.
I wasn't sure what to make of it, really. Like, I don't even know how accurate it is, or like what reason they have to actually suspect this particular person. But I don't know. I'm currently in a position where I just have to wait and see and hope, which is fucking hard.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the things I suppose that's been quite heartwarming for me is just, I have friends on all sides of the political spectrum, racial identity politics, all of that. I've got friends on all sides of that have all different views about everything, and I do feel like a bit like Switzerland, sometimes. Especially on the rave scene, because on the rave scene, people keep falling out with each other, and often I'm friends with people that are friends with each other, and then now they're not. I've never been put in a situation where people said, "Oh, you've got to pick a side," but I know other people have said that to other people, and I think that's just absolutely outrageous. Oh, it's so childish. Don't drag people into your shit.
But, no, you have your issues. It's fine, but if you're going to be so immature as to give everybody else like the dilemma of you got to pick one side or the other, fucking no,
exactly. So what's been, I suppose, my main positive takeaway from this is that it's been good to see friends of mine are all unanimously condemning this. Regardless of what they thought of Charlie Kirk or his politics or his views, and it seems to me that he was quite a moderate,
very
right-wing conservative. Not, he was obviously quite religious and had very strong religious beliefs and convictions and things.
Yes.
But I'd never hold that against anybody.
Now, what's craziest for me about this whole situation is prior to it, I had never heard of this guy. I am not religious or political at all.
And you're American, you never heard of him.
Yeah, well, doesn't mean that I'm interested in politics at all, but but to actually go back and listen to this guy's work and get a general vibe of who he was as a person, I can honestly tell you he and I would have absolutely nothing in common and would get along just fine.
Yeah. You know what? I've sort of watched a few interviews with him and a couple of sound bites. And again, me and him would have nothing in common. We would probably agree on very little, although we probably like some of the TV shows, I expect. It strikes me as someone who probably, likes Law and Order. And I like watching Law and Order.
I'm sure he would have great talks over the Shield.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'd be quite happy to sit down and have a chat with him and, hear his views on some political things. And I'd give him X amount of time to speak, and I'd say, now I want you to listen to my thoughts and opinions on those subjects. Yeah. And I'm sure he struck me as somebody who understood the need for dialogue between people with opposing views, and actually that's quite rare. Most people just want to shout at people and talk down to them, and I've got to say Trump's not particularly good at listening to people with opposing views, and is quite good at shouting and talking down at people. But this guy seemed a lot more reasonable to me. He probably would have made again, not necessarily agreeing with a lot of his views, but he probably would have made a pretty good president one day.
Possible.
It's
the kind of person that I would genuinely appreciate.
People that do agree with his perspectives. But I think it's the robbing of the democracy is what makes me. I mean, obviously, there are two things that make me really angry here. One is somebody was murdered, and we now have two fatherless children. And one thing that the world doesn't need is more fatherless children. But
completely agree.
The second thing here is you're robbing you're destroying the democratic process, and we can have a whole separate argument about democracy's illusion, which to some extent it is, and we all know that big corporations are becoming more and more powerful. We've all seen Alien Earth. We know that's the future. A terrible script writing is already coming true. So, but somebody on my Facebook has just said that this is a radical trans activist shooter. I don't know if that's true.
Again, until we get all the facts squared and sorted,
Yeah,
which is going to be incredibly difficult, especially with AI and Photoshop and so many people involved in this particular rally. Like, it's going to be a hard one to put together. And what I'm worried about is, like, as I said earlier, people are so quick to react that, like, I worry that the effects of this event are going to outweigh the truth of it, or like overshadow it. Because, like, we already have people, putting up graffiti here in Seattle, over at, like, our local colleges, saying, spraying stuff like "kill all Charlie Kirks." Be like,
oh my god, you really? Are you serious?
Yeah, I saw that just today.
That's horrendous.
It really is. Like, I was talking, I've been sending messages to people like all day, and no rational person would reach this particular, like, conclusion in any situation, that this is what we need to do to resolve whatever issue this guy's opinion has or causes for me. It's beyond absurd.
Let's hear the Australian opinion. Because the authority has arrived from Australia, though he may still be sleeping or grabbing a mug of coffee, because it's probably early morning over there right now. Adrian,
Very
hello.
much. Good morning, sir.
Hello there. How are you?
Pretty good, mate. You are allowed to say the traditional Australian good morning greeting. Fuck.
It's bloody cold over here, mate.
Mate, there's a show that's just dropped. I've just seen the episodes of it. It's Mitchell and Webb, these two British comedians, and on their show they do a series of skits, a bit like the Fast Show. Have you ever seen the Fast Show, Adrian?
Yeah, it rings a bell. Yeah, I think I saw that back in the day.
It's a bit like the Fast Show. It's not as good as the Fast Show, but it has got some funny bits. And one of the sketches in it is called the Shouty Australian Drama Show, and it's set on a farm, and it's basically an Australian drama show set on a farm where everybody is either shouting or swearing at each other or shagging. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
I was watching an Australian movie the other day with my wife, and I was sort of having this discussion with her where I was sort of saying, what is it about so many Australian movies and shows that just doesn't work for me, and I think a lot of it comes down to what are Australians really like compared to how they come across in film and television. And I think Australians are very, very, it's almost like the British understatement. We've sort of inherited that, but with our own sort of slant on it, So today they played the actual recording of the pilot who discovered that the Chinese were doing a live fire exercise with their Navy just off the coast of Australia last year, I think it was. And and the pilot just sort of says, after he tells the guy that, there's a whole bunch of Chinese warships firing live stuff into the air, and they've warned me to stay away in case I get destroyed, he just says, so if you don't hear from us again, you'll know what happened. We're very sort of understated, and the controller on the ground just goes, yeah, good luck. We're just we have this very laid back, very understated way of they might all die. So he just says, yeah, if you don't hear from us, you'll know what happened. And he goes, yeah, good luck, mate. We're so sort of minimal. And I think that's why when I watch a lot of Australian movies and stuff, they do have this tendency to sort of, try and ape a bit of Hollywood, so they have people getting really worked up and yelling and screaming and carrying on and going over the top. And it sort of jars with me when I watch it, because I think it doesn't really ring true a lot of the time. Mind you, the feral thing where people just scream like lunatics is very accurate.
So Adrian, I've got a question for you, because like me, you're a published author on Amazon, and if you're a fan
For
of
my
British
sins,
science,
yes.
you're a fan of British science fiction, you can almost guarantee that Adrian's written some sort of episode guide on it, or similar book on Amazon. I've got a new book dropping today, and it is now today. It's now 2 minutes past midnight, which means it's now Friday, the 12th of September in the UK. And my book is supposed to drop on Friday, the 12th of September. And that's the Raving book. Hang on, I'm going to make myself...
Yeah, I saw the cover of that
I'm going to engorge myself momentarily. So, have them here. This is the softback, and this is the hardback, which is particularly nice, incidentally. And this is a sort of often amusing, quite poignant, occasionally sad, true story of a whole reason why I went back to dancing, and actually also the whole reason of why I started doing YouTube, and why that was so important to me, and dealing with mental health and PTSD and all that kind of thing. So that comes out today, and I have a launch event for it. This time tomorrow, I will still be live. I'll be coming to the end of it from 6 p.m. in the UK tomorrow. I will be doing a mega live stream about the book, and I'm inviting anyone from the rave scene to come on and sort of talk about, their experiences of it, and I've got a few people that have confirmed already. And I mean, the book is about the punter. It's about the person who comes through the door, who pays for a ticket to come and either see their favorite DJ or go to their favorite club. It's not told from the point of view of a promoter or a DJ or a club owner. And there have been a couple of books written about the rave scene back in the day, back in the 90s, but no one's done one about it now. No one's done one about the explosion of the day rave scene on London, which is where I go. For anyone watching, I'm not out on a Saturday night until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I am out on Saturday at midday. I am dancing from 1 o'clock until about 9 o'clock in the evening. And by 10 o'clock, I'm back home in bed, usually with a meal, glass of wine, and I'm watching a movie into the wee hours.
And so, I've got a question about your book.
Go ahead, mate.
I was just wondering, so because the way you've titled it and the way you've sort of been promoting it, does this also give you, I guess, not just about the rave scene, but also the added theme of what it's like for someone, sort of in middle life to have to sort of reinvent themselves and, I guess re-enter the social world, after maybe their life's changed.
I mean, that's a really accurate description of a huge portion of the book. Yeah, mate, that's a great question. Come on tomorrow and ask me that. If you can get up a little bit earlier, because I'll be wrapping up about this time. But yeah, I mean, I hadn't gone out to an event purely for dance. I've gone to events where there've been music, and I've happened to end up dancing, people's weddings and some other stuff, but I hadn't got that specifically for the purpose of raving until the last time would have been the early 2000s, and then really before that was 1992, and then there's a whole load of stuff I can't remember between those dates, but because of my brain injury. But I mean, this is me at an event 2 weeks ago with my friend Noosh in the middle, and then Connie is on the left, right in the picture. This, if you're looking at it this way, that's an event called Fusion, and that was right near the beginning. We got there quite early, and we had a great time, dancing and whatnot. It's been so good for my not just my mental health, but I mean, I've lost 2 stone, and that's, and by the way, that's without using Ozempic or anything similar. That's just from dancing for 6 hours most Saturdays And also, I have, to be fair, I've massively changed my diet. So I'm eating, good God, I'm eating chicken and broccoli and chicken and asparagus 3 or 4 times a week. I mean, I'm eating a lot of chicken and a lot of greens. I love pasta, but I'm only having it once or twice a month tops. And you know,
those carbs are no good for you.
Yeah, I've cut bread almost completely. The only time I have bread is when I have a burger. I might burger once or twice a month, kind of thing. You know, so it's a huge change of diet and sort of mental attitude. And you know,
there's a very three-dimensional look at the topic. Then it's not just about you know, what goes on. It's got the social aspect. It's also got the health and fitness aspect, and you've also got the theme of, I guess, life and the way life changes, and how, you know, someone in middle life can be, you know, suddenly faced with a lot of change and forced to adapt, and how, I guess, the benefits of adaptation as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is me with Jimmy. This is at another event. He's a DJ in the bucket hat, and he was a hardcore raver in the 90s. Now, when I raved in the 90s, I only raved for about 6 months. I was also completely sober. I didn't do any drugs, didn't do no drinking, nothing like that. A little bit later in life, I became a bit more liberal, but at that time and largely now, I'm you know, I will most of the raves I go to, I'll be completely sober. I'm really just interested in kind of, I like dancing so much, it's become like this workout for me. So see a few comments in the chat there. I'll get to those in just a sec. So yeah, so it's the book is all about that journey. I cover, I mean, it's 40 chapters. It's a big book.
It's impressive.
You've had a lot to say.
Yeah, I did really. I mean, first of all, I decided the meat of the book was going to be a journal of sort of my day raves, and I decided that after I've been on that scene for nearly a year. And this is me dancing with my light whip. So I've always got this light whip with me, and anytime I can get up on stage and dance with it, I will, because this is the thing that's made me lose the weight. This is the thing that made me lose 2 stone in 6 months, because working out with this is really, you know, you're exercising everything, because I'm moving all of my arm, every muscle in my arm, both arms. I'm moving my legs and I'm moving my body to chuck it all around. Yeah, I mean, Mr. Brown and I don't remember things for different reasons. He doesn't remember things because he was a bit hardcore. I don't remember things because I had a brain accident and I have a massive scar in my head. So, which occurred the same time as I got this huge scar on my thumb, which you can see if you look really closely. You can see that kind of scar and that indent there. That all happened at the same time, and I've got that same scar in my head, which probably explains why the Lance Nilsson that you all know and love so well is such a unique individual. So isn't
it amazing that you're writing books and directing movies, you know, after a brain injury? I mean, those of us who haven't had a brain injury, what's our excuse? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I've only directed one feature film since then, and that was done in lots of little stages, and it was done partly in lots of little stages because that was the way we were able to fund it. But I'll be honest, I mean, you know, if someone had come up to me and gone, here's a $20 million budget for a movie, which for me would be huge, but these days is quite small. You're going to be shooting for 80 days, you know, I'd be like, fuck. I'd be doing my Australian fuck.
How are you going to make the money last that long? God damn.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
That'd be catering alone.
I would probably get in a co-director. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't turn down the job, but I would probably get in somebody like Matty Holmes to come and work with me. And I would say, right, you're going to be my second unit director, and we're going to break this down. and you're going to come in and do these bits and these bits, and I'm going to do this stuff and this stuff and this stuff, and you know, you're not going to be second unit director buried in the credits. It's going to be directed by Lance Nielsen, and then you're going to be second unit director, and you're going to be right after me, kind of thing. I don't know. We would work something out, or even a I've done co-directing with people before. I've done that with Dick and
like the Archers of London.
Players.
Pressburger and Powell, they shared their directing credit equally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at an age now where, you know, I'll do what's required to get the job over the finish line, and I need to be a bit beyond ego, really.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. That's a great point, Lance, because I've had that where I've written a book and I've submitted it to an editor who's, you know, ripped it to shreds and sort of rewritten it, and he's told me that he's had problems with other authors who, you know, been very resistant, whereas I've just gone, yep, sure, no problem. And the reason I haven't given him any hard time is because of that idea that the work of art, whether it's a book, you know, or a film or whatever, that's the thing that matters, not my ego, not me. You know what I mean? I'm just the messenger boy sort of thing. It's not about my vision or my idea. It's whether the end product is good. You know, the end product is everything. You know, the film or the book takes precedence. So, yeah, I like that idea that, you know, as you get older, you don't sort of get so attached to, oh, I have to have this credit or whatever. Who cares, you know?
Yeah.
It's a humble sort of thing, you know. But it's good.
My friend Lynn Ellis is literally writing to me right now, saying, I need a copy of the book. I'm on the cover. I need you to sign it.
Nice.
Yeah, there's
Might be able to arrange that.
It's funny actually.
Should have got more people on the cover, Lance.
Well, I mean, I did my best. The group that's in this shot, and Lynn is the one with her chops open, who's on the spine. These guys were all. This was us at what was called the Orange Party, which was a great old school rave music party run by a guy called Chris Paul, who's also a DJ. And at Coco, which is my favourite venue, that's us all down the front. And then I was at this other rave called Summer Shakedown, and all of those exact same guys were there. Even the guy in the background, Daniel, the white T-shirt, who's this guy just here next to my friend Andy Samuel, he was there as well. And I was able to get a photograph of every single one of them holding the book because I had the proof copy with me at the time. So that was kind of funny. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, she's asking me what time and all this. So I'm saying midday. Come meet me at midday, and I'll give you a signed copy of the book. Yeah, I mean it's funny. I still don't know if the book's any good. I mean, I'm sure Adrian, you go through that as an author.
Yeah.
Same
The
thing with your big guide. You know, yeah, you always worry, is it any good? Are people actually going to be interested in this? But I don't know.
Sometimes you look back on, you know, things that we now regard as classics and things, and or people that we regard as legends, and you find out that they had the same insecurities, you know, the same doubts.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose this one is quite personal. It's you know, Silver Screen Journeys was the last book I wrote that was really personal, and that was the last book before this one, and that book became more personal than I actually intended it to be.
It's one of my favorite aspects of it.
Oh well, thank you very much. Yeah, Proctor's got a copy of it. Adrian, did you get one as well?
No, I don't have that book, not yet.
No, we've lost Adrian's signal. I don't know what's happened.
Oh no!
Technical difficulties.
Sucks to suck, nerd.
I've only got one of Adrian's 10 or so books that he's got out, but I have got one of them. I did order one. So yeah, I mean, that's had pretty good reviews. Did you do one of the reviews on Amazon? I've had some really nice reviews on Amazon, Proctor. I don't know if you did one yet.
I definitely did, although I did it under my real name. And
yeah, that's right.
You remember I also bought a copy for a friend, Brianna.
Oh yeah.
So for your advertising.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Did they like it?
Oh, she did.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, do tell them to do a review also.
Yeah,
if that's possible.
Oh yeah, she thinks that you are an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah. So that's very kind. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because this side of my life is completely compartmentalized from my
the raving stuff
life,
and
which was yeah. I mean, and it also wasn't always there. It was present for 6 months in 92, 93, sometime around then. The exact dates are not entirely clear to me. And then it came back again in the early 2000s a bit, but again, almost none of that stuff I can remember.
Yeah.
And then the meat of the book is everything that's happened the last 3 years. Now kind of films are not really a dominating force in my life. I mean, don't get me wrong, I watch them, but I've only been to the cinema 4 or 5 times in the last, since lockdown. I've only been since we came out of lockdown. I've been to see on the big screen. I've been to see Top Gun Maverick twice. On the big screen.
Wow.
I was at the premiere. I was at the cast and crew premiere, and then I went to see it again as a paid punter.
Also, I can only think of one movie I've gone to see at the cinema in the last 5 years.
I went to see that. I went to see Inside Out 2, which I could absolutely love the first film. I did like what they did with the second movie.
No, 2. I've seen 2.
Inside Out 2. I'm glad you could tell they were going to push a lot of social politics into that film, and I'm glad they pulled back from that and just kind of kept it as a, just free of all of that social politics. It was just nice to see another
politics out, really, aren't we?
We were a bit, yeah. That was, I think you could tell that they'd gone that way, and I think that film would have been a disaster if it would have hurt its box office. And then saw, what else did I see? I think I saw Napoleon.
Oh, which was God. My condolences.
Which was dreadful. Yeah, it was a dreadful film. And because I wanted big screen experience, I wanted to see. And I think I've seen 2 others. I think I've seen. And I have, to be fair, I've been to see some older films. So I've gone back to see The Spy Who Loved Me about 2 or 3 times. I've been to see Heat a couple of times. This is at the cinema that shows all the older movies, and I'm always taking friends of mine.
Spy Who Loved Me is amazing on the big screen, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm constantly taking people to see those films who have not seen them before. It's either my friends' kids, or the lady that I've been seeing recently, Connie. We basically went to see. What did we go and see? We saw Scarface on the big screen first time. Yeah. And then I took another girl on a date. This is before I met the person I'm seeing right now. I took another girl on a date to see Heat. It was the first date, and it was like, I'm gonna go and see Heat. Come if you want. I'll get an extra ticket. You can come if you want. She'd never seen it.
Wow.
And she was a bit younger than me. I mean, still like 37 or whatever. But started getting her phone out during the film, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You can't do that. You can't do that." And actually, the usher came and told her off. I said, "You can't do that in this cinema. You'll get thrown out." in this cinema, that's a massive, people come here to watch the movie and they pay money. They're not coming here to get distracted by your telephone. That's a fucking bollocker. So as you can imagine, that first date went really well.
Fantastic.
It's like also I was paying for the fucking tickets, so I knew when we came out of that movie I wasn't gonna see her again. I could just also she'd spun me this big line about being a refugee and was poor and didn't have any friends and didn't have any support system over here and all of this, and there were fucking people like constantly calling her, and when I rang her, I think it was about 3 or 4 days later, she was at some party and was having a great time and all the rest of it, and she painted this picture of a very kind of fragile individual who didn't know anyone, didn't have any support system, all of this, and I just think it was all bollocks. So
well, clearly
anyway, more updates on Lance's romantic endeavours next time.
Either way, I'm glad that the person that you're seeing now is treating you well.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's a lovely individual, but she's only here
Who
for a
doesn't
short
pull her
time.
phone out during movies?
No, she's working abroad. So hold on a second, I've got to reply to this message. Just talk amongst yourselves briefly. Adrian, meet Proctor.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, how are you, Proctor?
So it's been pretty funky couple days, but we're pulling through. Spent about 6 hours today helping out a friend, taking her to the dentist. She wasn't able to. She wasn't allowed to drive there or back. So.
Oh damn! Must have been some serious dental work needed.
Oh yeah, yeah. She was pretty loopy afterwards. So I made sure. Oh yeah, and I made sure to take plenty of photos for her to laugh at later.
Oh dear.
So I only followed part of that conversation, but it did sound entertaining. So I haven't had an email confirmation yet, Adrian, that says, your book is now available. I'm refreshing my Gmail here just to check.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's always a big moment when that comes through, isn't it?
It is. And I mean, you see, because if I go onto Amazon and I search for Back to Raving at 50, I wonder if it's going to come up. No. And this is really weird, right? I put Back to Raving at 50, right? This is bizarre. And the first thing that comes up is Top Secret with Val Kilmer. What?
Huh.
How does that translate in search parameters? Followed by Fletch Lives.
I say it looks kind of like he's dancing.
Don't get me wrong, Val definitely does rave in this movie.
Okay.
He dances. He's
Val Kilmer there. So how do you go from looking like that to being,
you say if it was a Quentin Tarantino movie, that would make sense.
But you can see, so if I just limit it to books, this is quite funny. Okay. The books that come up are Raving at the Big Bad. No idea what that's about. Let's have a quick look. Conflict, Family and Alcohol and Annoying Neighbors. Raving at the Big Bad explores the moody, manic spectrum of the human experience. My book is much more fun than that. Raving at Usurers, not even Anti-France and the Ethics of Uncertainty, England, 1690 to 1750. That is, I mean, that sounds so exciting, and you have to pay 33 quid for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
33. Is that pounds? 33 pounds.
Yeah,
oh wow.
33 pounds, yeah.
Raving at American Amazon, I got
$40 Australian. Christ, that's
mate, Raving in 1690 was expensive, man. Let me tell you, bottles of water back then, Oof.
So's the book.
If you wanted it purified, mate, it was expensive. Then we have Back to the Wild. I don't know if is that based on the book by this is the photographs and writings of Christopher McCandless. So that's going to be sad. That's
do you Lance, when you're publishing a book, mate, do you agonize about pricing?
Not this time around, because of course, as you know yourself, they've hiked up all the prices because of
Just like inflation or the tariffs?
Yeah.
Production costs.
No, well, everything, as you know, Ukraine has increased price everywhere. Rich people are still getting even richer, and war in Ukraine means all of us have to pay more money
Of
in
course.
order to maintain rich people's lifestyles. Therefore, we have to pay lots of dough, which is utter bullshit. You know, I mean, there's no reason actually why quite a lot of prices can't go down. They can go down. We just have to reduce profit for rich people. That's all it is.
Yeah,
don't talk all shit. And until we change that philosophy, the world is just going to go over the brink. And I'd say that war is probably almost inevitable now. And I hate saying that, but it scares me. It's you know, so I'm trying to have a good time while I'm still here.
Yeah, right.
I remember all those wars in the Middle East, and it would cause the price of petrol or gasoline to go up at the Bowser, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Rock came out on stage and said, "What's up with that?" He says, "I'm just saying that if I invaded KFC, then wings would be cheaper at my place."
Gotta love Chris Rock.
I like that. I like that logic.
That's flawless.
So let me show you the other thing I've got going on. So we are now 33 days away. It's funny, I've got three big creative projects this year, and they all sort of come to fruition within a 6-week period. So the other one is 7 Magnificent Egos. This is my show about the making of the Magnificent Seven.
This looked interesting, I thought.
Yeah, this is the EPK. This is what we're sending out to the press and stuff. And this is just 33 now, 33 days away from opening night. And I'm not only directing it and I wrote it, but I'm also in it. I'm playing John Sturges, the film's director. So the director of the play is also playing the director of the film, if that makes sense. Yes, we only have 6 showings, but the theatre where we're doing the play is empty the week after, and I'm hoping that we might be able to negotiate an extension with them. And if so, that means turning around to the cast. And what I'll say to the cast is because we'll only be getting an extension if all the costs of the show are covered. And I'll basically say, look, guys, this is an eight-handed show. There are 8 of us in the show. We've got a stage management team, so there are 10 of us. You know, after costs that we have to pay to put it on for another week, all the ticket money that comes in and gets split equally between everybody, because it's only going to happen if everybody is up for it. You know, I don't think any theatre company would ever do that. They would say something like, "The company will take 50% and you'll get 50% divided between however many." But I'm not.
They say that there are most production companies, especially the smaller ones, are going to prioritize themselves.
Yeah, for sure, cool.
Yeah, which is fair enough, but at the same time, you know, we got to respect you guys for actually doing it right for everybody. Now,
I think there are 3 of us on here, and we're all slightly interested in history. I'm quite curious to see this. I'm hearing good things about Nuremberg. This is the new movie. I mean, let's face it. Russell Crowe is of the right physique to play the ginormous Hermann Göring. Because you know, Russell Crowe's a pretty big guy at the moment.
Yeah, he is.
If anything, I'd say
he's a bit gone.
And Rami Malek is playing the guy who sort of goes up against him, and I think it's a bit of a battle of wits between the psychiatrist who's assessing him and you know, so and then I don't know if Vanderbilt's film doesn't actually arrive at the courtroom until much later in the proceedings, so we are going to see the courtroom. But this had a massive standing ovation at was it Toronto that it premiered at? It's premiered somewhere fairly recently. I'm quite keen to see it. I think it was shot in Eastern Europe. But yeah, it should be interesting. Yeah, because of course when Hermann Göring was captured, he was with his mistress, he was in his staff car, and he had like hordes of loot with him. And I think he was under some kind of illusion that the West were going to treat him like, you know, some kind of reverent hero, and because he wasn't Russian, and you know, he'd get to sort of wander off and keep everything. Mate, you're on the losing side, and you're responsible.
Not how that works, man.
Millions of people. So yeah. I've got going. I'm jumping all over the place now. Let's not do that.
Yeah, you're.
All right. Yeah, not while we're live. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. You guys, Proctor, you interested in that movie? Is that a movie?
Oh
you
yeah,
wanna see?
that seems really interesting. Like World War II, especially, has seemingly endless depths of, you know, info that you can dive down into, from, you know, Hitler shipping Vladimir Lenin over to Russia to subvert them just on the political side internally. You know, the hoarding and censorship of so much art, the Operation Mincemeat, which we've gone on about before. Like,
yeah,
it never ends. And it, even like the practical sciences, you know, side of it, like how Hedy Lamarr helped create the scrambler devices on our missiles so that they wouldn't be able to jam them mid-flight and throw them off course. How, you know, what was that movie with Benedict Cumberbatch, The Imitation Game, all about the development of computers and Alan Turing. Yeah. Like, and it's all so fucking interesting.
Yeah, a lot of complex things went on in World War II quite quickly. In fact, it's even been argued that we wouldn't have the science fiction genre in the way we have it nowadays if it wasn't for World War II, because it was the first time we really saw rapid change in the way the world is due to rapid technological and scientific development, which was pushed forward rapidly by the race to win the war on both sides, you know, even culminating in the atom bomb.
Hell, I was recently cursed with some knowledge about World War II. Would you guys like to get in on this?
Curse me all you like.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't involve a 10-minute monologue, I'm up for it completely. Okay,
no worries. It's just a quick fun fact for you that Adolf Hitler was the first person to commission like professionally, like industrially created sex dolls for his troops, specifically to keep morale up.
No way. I did not know.
Yeah.
You mean Adolf invented the flighty Katie? My God.
Yeah. Pretty much. But he was the guy that instituted like the mass production of sex dolls.
Well, we owe him for Fanta and the Volkswagen, don't we?
Yep. There's a Volkswagen, Mercedes, you know, a lot of those, all those German automobile companies that created like the rotary engine,
the Audi,
that too.
Yeah. See, it's true. Out of great evil must come something good.
Yeah, it's not all completely terrible, although a lot of it was.
Yeah, it's just the whole invading other people's countries and exterminating masses of folks that is where it all went kind of pear-shaped. Yeah.
Funny he focused on the sex doll industry. Imagine how great Germany could be today.
Yeah,
I know. Right? It's kind of like that moment in Breaking Bad where Walt gets this really great coffee made by his fellow scientist in the lab, and he says, "This is great coffee. Why the hell are we making meth?"
Yeah, because
if only Adolf had seen the potential of inflatable women, you know, he could have said that. Let's forget
Germany would definitely be at the level that Japan
currently is.
Yeah, it's
it has actually been argued.
Germany would have hit that. They would have hit that 1960 latest. They'd be there. You know?
It has actually been argued that Germany could have dominated Europe economically without going to war, if they just stayed on the path of industrialization and
at the rate they were going. Yeah, probably not wrong.
I think that's and what they could have done is invented and tested all the weapons, but not attacked anyone.
Yeah,
and also
sold them.
not shown them. No, don't sell them to people. Not attacked anyone. Not shown them off, but just had them.
Yeah, just keep developing them.
Yeah, keep developing them.
Yeah,
just personally, superpower like a Cold War situation.
Yeah, but personally, I just think it's fucking hilarious that the Ubermensch, the Superman, who had become so evolved and advanced that he no longer needs women. He creates his own.
Classic ones.
Well, I have another important topic to discuss, which I feel is vital to world safety.
Okay.
And that is the new Lego Death Star, which has come out, which I already feel is infringing on my.
It's like $1,000.
Now this one is much bigger than the previous Lego Death Star that they created. But when I first saw it, I thought, oh wow, cool. This is so huge. It's amazing, but you're going to be able to have all these cool battles and yada 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 yada. And then I realized actually it's really thin. And when you look at it from the other side, it looks really shit. And welcome Rachel to the chat.
Hey Rachel.
Good to see you.
Hey everybody.
How you been?
I mean, don't get me wrong, it has a lot of cool shit, but that's what it looks like from the side.
Oh, that's not worth $1,000.
I mean, it has got all these really cool figures, but and then when you see it, I bet you they're not going to show you a picture of it from the back, because now that guy, by the way, I tell you right now, that guy is getting divorced.
Oh.
If that was not
shots fired.
You know why I know that? Because no wife of that guy is going to allow those unmatching chairs to exist with that table. So he's already got divorced. This is his new apartment, but he's got his Lego Death Star.
It looks like a weird combination of AI and Photoshop.
Yeah, I'm hearing you saying you spent $1,000 on a Death Star. And you've got those chairs. Are you kidding me? Here's the divorce papers.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got his priorities right. The Lego over the chairs always, but
he's got his priorities right. His wife would disagree.
Yeah.
Well, his ex-wife. His ex-wife did disagree, and he's now living in that apartment.
Yeah.
That's
but,
right.
I mean, it's this flash ornamental piece, but I've got nowhere for it to go. I mean, my Lego Death Star that's here. It's already taking up substantial space on my desk. There isn't room for a second. What's the point of having this in the kitchen? Like I've got room in the kitchen, but and then it's going to get covered with vegetables and
And if you actually assemble a complete sphere, you can't see what's inside it anyway. You have to keep pulling it apart.
Still,
what do you reckon, Rachel?
$1,000. $1,000 for a really interesting puzzle. That's all it is.
It looks like a display case, honestly, for toys. It's like a little round.
Well, I mean, it is really. It actually is a display. That's exactly what it is—a display case for toys.
Yeah, so for $1,000, I better be able to sleep in that thing.
Really?
Yeah, comfortably.
I mean,
better talk to me.
I said
it needs to come with a food voucher or something.
I said the whole reason I had to own the Lego Death Star was because I was going to invent this cool card game. We were all going to sit around the table and play it, and it was going to be called Escape from the Death Star. And but that never happened because by the time I got the Death Star, me and my ex-partner were already split up. I was kind of developing the game. We weren't really sitting down and playing games anymore, except for playing cards occasionally. And so that whole idea. Lost for the mists of time.
What could have been?
Yeah, what could have been? No, the UK is here. So, right now, I thought because I'm publishing my book on Amazon UK, I thought I would be on UK time, and my book would now be available.
This guy was never married to his little UK. That's probably
yeah, probably indeed
accurate.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible that guide doesn't exist and it's just an AI interpretation of a happy man with
unless he's like really rich, you know what I mean? If he's on an average sort of job, sort of income, if he thinks spending $1,000 on a Death Star is okay, then he doesn't understand women, does he?
So, Adrian, I'm going to go into my Amazon account, my publishing account, and I'm going to see, you know, what's it
Good
saying
news.
next.
You see the good news that your book is now live.
It says to it, release schedules ready for release, scheduled September 12th, 2025. Well, it is now September 12th in the UK anyway.
Interesting theory, Keith.
But maybe Amazon, because it was Amazon.com originally, maybe I'm on American time.
Maybe.
Or maybe it's
in which case you'd still have another like 7
Amazon
hours, 15 to go.
Operates on American time, yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Or the dawn of, you know, he's a stay-at-home dad.
Well, it's 12 here, it's still 11th in the United States.
Yeah, like I guess we still have like another 7 hours plus until, you know, it's Friday on our side. But yeah, counter theory for Keith here.
Friday
maybe
he's Australia. We're in the future.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe that guy is like a stay-at-home, like he's just some guy that never moved out of his parents' place. So he got his first paycheck and spent it on the Lego Death Star.
Yeah, see, if I told my wife I was making Lego Death Stars and selling them, and I was going to sell them for $1,000 each, and we're going to have plenty of money, she'd be like, "Hey, great,"
That's
you know. If I told her I was
right.
buying $1,000 Death Star, she'd be like, "Are you out of your mind? What is wrong with you?"
Right.
All the other things we need to spend money on in this house, you're buying a fucking toy. Are you nuts? You know, I would be.
There are bills, people.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. She'd be giving me a reality check a mile long.
You've probably already got lots of toys you don't need. I mean, on the subject of toys, I just saw a photograph of somebody filming the models for Blake 7 Series 2 Blu-ray update, presumably. You know, they're reshooting all the VFX footage, which actually is not a bad thing because, you know, whilst people say, "Oh, don't alter the old VFX, they look cool and kitsch," that is not true of the Blake 7 VFX. A lot of them look fucking awful, especially the ones where they've got cardboard cutout ships and they just move them in front of cardboard space, you know, and it's just, and then they put these lines behind them.
It was an illusion that was acceptable in low resolution free to air television in the 1970s. You could get away with it, but now that you've got HD and big flat screens, you know, it's not gonna survive being upscaled to HD on that sort of screen. It's going to look absolutely atrocious. So yeah, I think what they're doing is good, and it helps me sell volume 2 of my Blake 7 guidebook. So I'm very happy. So every time they do something like that, I'm like, "Thanks, guys. Thank you for giving me a few more book sales. That's great."
Hang on, I'm going to just do this Blu-ray Blake 7 season 2. I enjoyed rewatching the first season with the.
I mean, it's a bloody great series. It really is. It was so far ahead of its time. A lot of scenes in it are very reminiscent of things which they did in Breaking Bad. You know, some 40 years later.
Here we go. So this is there's a little trailer for it here. I'm probably going to get the copyright demons on me again. But this is a shot from the new.
Oh
yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
And then that's another. Yeah, that's another shot which is new because of course we never see all these interceptors. So they've redone all these shots like this. These were all very kind of low rent before. So yeah, I mean it looks good, and they've been rebuilding all the different models. There's new special features on it.
They're actually using model work. They're actually using model work combined with CGI to make it as authentic as possible, which was good.
So I'm getting
I've got a
flashbacks
great
to the second generation of Power Rangers.
I've got a great story about Jacqueline Pierce, who played. That's her there. She
Yeah, you
sadly
went out to dinner with her or something, didn't you?
did. I mean, it was great. What happened was, I wrote to her. I was working on a short film that I wanted to do at the time, and I wanted her to play my mum. And it was this story is actually in my Raving book. Did I mention I've got a new book out today? Yeah.
Might have
Yeah,
mentioned.
well, at least later today. It's not out yet, but later today. So
That's right.
in the Raving book, there's a chapter called "Where Does Insecurity
National
Come From?"
Dateline notwithstanding.
No, and the chapter in the book called "Where Does Insecurity Come From?" is basically, it describes the occasion when I went to meet my birth mother for the first time, and because I'm adopted and I'd never met her, I tracked her down. I went to see her, and I was there for 2.5 days, more or less. Actually, it was 2 days. I was there for half a day, a whole day, and then a couple of hours in the morning. Thank God, and then I was gone. And it was one of the worst traumatic times of my life. She spoke down to me like I was nothing. Made me feel like I was a massive inconvenience. The whole thing was completely awful. I was sort of very interested in having some kind of friendship with her, not causing her any aggravation in her life whatsoever. I just wanted to get to know the woman. I'm sure she's probably no longer with us, because she would have been in her 50s then. This would have been when was this? This was sometime in the late 90s.
Sadly, she is gone. But she was a huge breakout star from that show.
No, I'm talking about my I'm talking about my birth mum.
You're now talking. You're sorry.
Yeah. No, so I wanted Jacqueline to play. I wanted Jacqueline to play her in a short based on that time that we spent together. And so this was the reason that we met. I wrote to her and told her I'd followed her career, and I was coming to see a play of hers, and it was my friend's birthday, and I was treating him to see the play. And afterwards, we had a lot of trouble getting backstage to see her, and the guy was being a deliberate arse, and he was actually saying, she had said to him, "I'm expecting guests," and he kept us waiting, and was an arsehole, and she was absolutely livid. But because of that, she took us out for drinks, and with her, I think it was her girlfriend, who was the lady who was with her, I think was her partner.
Okay.
And
small silver lining then.
We had an absolutely fantastic time. We stayed with them right until the pub was closing. And she stayed in touch with me for some time after that. I actually had her landline phone number.
Very nice.
As well as her mobile for a while. And then I think she moved to South Africa. And that's when I lost touch with her. But she plays the villain in Blake Seven. And yeah. Did you ever meet her, Adrian?
And a TV sex symbol at the time too. She was very popular.
Yeah. I mean,
and it was a complete accident too, because they originally wanted a man to play this character, and then halfway through the script, the writer thought it might be more interesting to make it a woman, and they hired her, and they cut her hair like that, and they were going to just dress her in jackboots like a sort of space Nazi, And she said, "You may as well just hire a man." She said, "Why don't we go the opposite way? And why don't I play it that she's so powerful that and has such an attitude about how powerful she is, that she dresses ultra feminine, even like on a battlefield. So even on a war-torn planet where people are all getting shot, she turned up like the queen, in an evening gown and high heels, and all these guys with guns would be protecting her. So she was sort of super feminine, and yet incredibly cold and brutal, at the same time. So I remember she said the character was so interesting because she had all the powers of a man and all the powers of a woman in one character,
Yeah.
and people
I
were
mean,
just
it's
fascinated by it.
there's one of the new shots there as well.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
it's I
one
mean
of my
it's
favorite episodes.
it's a show that I honestly wouldn't mind seeing remade with a big budget and appropriate. But I like the fact that they're also remastering these. They're doing a original series Star Trek job. They're and I think also I've got the Blu-ray set behind me. I think somewhere. Yeah, there it is. But I think when you watch it, you've got the option of like turning it off, and you can watch it with or without the new effects.
Nice.
It's a lovely set. I did enjoy watching these again. I hadn't.
The very last ever episode of Blake Seven, I think, had such an impact. I mean, I can remember walking in circles around the back garden of my parents' place.
I was
going through my head.
so livid. I went to my mum. Mum, I've got to call my friends because normally you could only use the phone. Like you had phone numbers for a few of your friends, but you had to ask your parents to call, and there'd have to be a reason, like we were arranging to go to cinema or something. I've got to call my friends. I've got to call why? I need to talk to them about Blake Seven. I've got to call them. And and I was straight up, you didn't watch Blake Seven? Oh my God. Well, I called one guy and he hadn't seen it. He missed it for whatever reason. I was like, how can you have missed it? You don't know what happened. But I mean that I didn't like that season when they went kind of Scorpio and Sulin and everything. I didn't mind new characters. But I didn't that season. I don't know what it was about that season. Slave and all of that didn't really work for me. I found
that in the first 3 seasons, I sort of thought there's probably about 3 episodes in each season that didn't quite come off. In the final season, there was more like about 6 that didn't come off, which is nearly half the season. But the ones that did work were some of the best episodes ever. Particularly that final episode was.
I mean, the final one was great.
That one and the one where Avon realizes he's going to have to murder his own buddy. Villa.
He's got to kill the one where he's got to kill Villa.
Yeah, those 2 strips alone were worth the price of admission. They were.
And right at the end. Right at the end of that episode, he's trying to convince Villa to come out of hiding because he suddenly realised how to fix it. And this time I'm not trying to trick you. And so
I mean, some of those moments were kind of they sort of almost prefigured some of the things that went on with Walt and Jesse on Breaking Bad. I'm gonna Walt decides to murder Jesse, and then he doesn't, and then finally he saves him. And they had this sort of showdown, this confrontation at the end, kind of like Blake and Avon, but that they do that they sort of flip it on Breaking Bad, whereas on Blake 7, Avon shoots Blake, but on Breaking Bad, it's like, shoot me, no. You want to die, do it yourself. It's like Macbeth, where in the very end of Macbeth, he finally takes back control of his own destiny. Jesse Pinkman finally says no to Walt in the very final moment. At the same time, you got that redemption thing of he saves him. So I mean, it's almost Shakespearean. Those kinds of shows are almost Shakespearean in their depth of character, and that's still rare on television. And we had that period in the early 2000s where they were saying we're in a new golden age of television, and of course Netflix and all the streaming services came along, and I'm not sure the golden age continued. I think streaming has been a bit of a mixed blessing.
So, who has seen Weapons on my panel here? Has everyone seen it?
I have not.
Weapons.
I have.
Rachel's seen it. Adrian, have you seen Weapons? The movie?
No. What is it? It's a movie or a series.
Clearly hasn't reached Australia yet. It's a feature film. But basically, yeah, I forget the movie that the guy directed previous.
The Barbarian.
The Barbarian, that's right.
Or Barbarian,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever it's called.
It's kind of a fun, low budget. Well, I say low budget for horror. Well, compared to a Marvel film, shall we say?
Lowish.
And Nerdy wanted to know what's it like. I mean, I kind of liked it, but at the same time, I was kind of like, eh. But I think one of the things that really made it was Amy Madigan. She was absolutely fantastic in it. The thing that made me think of Blake 7 before we leave that topic behind, these were the pictures, Adrian, that I saw. Just come across them again. I've been looking for them. So these are them filming the new model shots. Look.
Oh, wow.
So basically a green screen with some black behind it because they know they're going to have to put black on it anyway. And then some dolly for the camera so they can basically, you know, when you're filming models like these, you don't move the models, you move the camera. So and in modern model work, they will you'll have the camera often do a pre-generated move. So it's interesting to see them set these up, and that they've either rebuilt the model. So I don't imagine that the original ones from the show exist. I wouldn't have thought so. One of the things I really hope that they change and do it a lot better, Adrian, and I'm sure they will, is because of course the last time we see Blake prior to the final episode is when they realize they've disabled, they found Star One, which they realize is part of the Federation Defense Network, which is keeping this, it's like a minefield, isn't it? It's keeping a race of aliens out of the Federation. And then they realize that installation has actually been infiltrated by alien agents, and the staff of it are being murdered. Because it cuts to them, and they're kind of like, when they get shot, they're like this weird goo shit, and
which
then,
leads to one of Paul Darrow as Avon's greatest sort of Clint Eastwood type cool lines. You know, where someone who's shot dissolves into a pile of steaming green goo, and this woman says they're hostile, and he just says, which is good, really, because they'd be very difficult to love.
That is a good line.
So I think is that the season 2 or season 3 cliffhanger that ends with Blake?
It's the season 2. It's a season 2 season finale. Yeah, and
right.
One of the absolute best
It's like it's I think it's season 2 finale, and he's like fire, and then season 3 begins with basically a load
Star Wars
of
on a BBC budget. Yeah.
Star Wars on a BBC budget, which is the BBC Stereophonics workshop doing their sound effects, and several, and basically they just grabbed all the models that they'd used up to that point, whether they were medical ships or shuttles or whatever.
They reused everything. Yeah.
And just they reused everything.
Reuse of every special effect that they'd done for 2 years because they had no money to shoot anything new.
And just had shots of them
with laser beams added on,
shooting each other and blowing each other up, which was complete nonsense. And I kind of thought this is ridiculous, you know what I mean? But I'm looking forward to that being done properly, because that's going to look great when that's done properly.
Oh yeah, that'll be a big challenge if they do. If we get to season 3 Blu-ray, I want to see that. I mean, I do kind of. I mean, I sort of like that sequence, even though it's. I mean, yeah, you do have to really, sort of squint and say, okay, yeah, they're just blatantly reusing all the old footage because they've got no money here. But the fact that they actually tried to do a giant space battle using just
just models,
all their old leftover model shots from previous episodes, and trying to turn it into a Star Wars type of a space battle is you almost have to admire the sheer audacity of doing that.
Indeed.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Hmm?
I think my book's just gone. I think my book's gone live.
You got your thing.
Hey,
You got your
someone's just ordered one.
pop
Look
the
at this.
champagne.
My
Crack
my
the
Back
friend
in the
Lynn,
American side.
my friend Lynn has just ordered it. Look at that.
Look at that.
So I shouldn't really show that.
Hey, there it is.
But yeah, my friend just ordered it. I might have to re-edit that out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You have that thing
might
where
have
you
to-
publish a book, and the moment someone buys it, you the back of your mind, you think, "Hang on, was there a typo on page 62? I'm going to go and take a look."
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've already found. Oh, dude, I've already found some fucking typos. It's such a nightmare. Right, so it's out. So in theory, on my Gmail now, there should be a notification. Yet there isn't. Let me check my spam. In my spam, I've got 3 spams. One from Fly Fishing Insider Podcast. Who's this?
Only 3? My God.
Become a better angler. Yeah, I'm deleting that forever. No, so I haven't been notified that it's yet on sale. Okay, so let me go back to, let me refresh my Amazon thing. It's still saying on both of my things scheduled, ready for release. Right, so okay, so you guys go into Amazon and search for Back to Raving at 50 and tell me if you can find it.
I've already ordered my copy.
You're joking, really?
Yep. Ordered a hard copy just so I can.
Could you put the link in the private
course.
chat for that?
Of course.
Oh shit! So it is out. I'm going Back to Raving at 50. Let me put it. Yeah, there it is.
I'll put it. Yeah, I'll put it in chat.
It's up. I got it.
Okay.
Great. It's out.
Yep. It's out in the wild.
It's out in the wild. It's there.
It's out of its cage. It's like an escaped leopard. It's that large.
He's not bringing it back now.
Nope.
No point locking the barn door when the horse is bolted there, Lance.
Yep.
Oh mate, don't you always do that thing like where you get your final physical copy, you get the one that's on sale, you go through it, you still find some typos, and then so like 3 days later you go back and you re-upload another file. So you know that there's about four different versions of your book out there.
I had that with I did a book earlier this year on Kolchak the Night Stalker, and the moment someone bought one, a little voice in the back of my head said, "Hang on, did you really check the entry on episode 3?" And I'm like, "Oh." So I watched episode 3, and I was like, "Hang on." Some of the information I got when I was researching that wasn't right. I better go back and do a little rewrite. So I uploaded that, and then I'm like, hang on, what about episode 7? Was that right? And before I knew it, I had literally rewatched probably 2/3 of the bloody show all over again. And I'm every day I'm rewriting the entries as soon as I finish watching the episode and saying, no, that's not exactly right. And
God,
I must have re-uploaded the file for that book about 10 times over in a period of about a month. By the time I was finally finished, I was like, geez, it must be the best book ever now. So I've rewritten it on a daily basis, for a solid month.
Well,
Crazy.
I've got to quickly continue telling stories because I have to quickly put the link absolutely everywhere on everything.
Well, Lance, one of the things that I found was that, and I don't know whether you've had this, but I have this thing where, your book goes into review after you submit a new version. So it goes.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. But the old version stays on sale while that happens.
Yeah, but sometimes I've had a thing where I've spotted a mistake that's so egregious and so embarrassing. It's like walking around with your fly undone. I feel really.
Oh, I know, mate.
So
there's
just own it, brother.
But then I've clicked submit. You know what I mean? And then after I've clicked submit, then the book's gone into review, and then I've spotted this error, and I've gone, oh man, So I've edited that, fixed that error, but then I'm like, pacing and going without sleep and propping my eyelids over with matchsticks like in the cartoons, waking up the next morning, finally, is it gone live yet? I'm just watching my phone. Where's the bloody alert for it to, so I can post the next update? And I'm praying no one orders it until I fix that error, And then finally, when the new version's then gone live, another 24 hours later, I finally got, at last, okay, now you can order my book. Geez, thank God I removed that problem. Somewhere I'd typed the completely wrong thing. So bad. So it can be very stressful, self-publishing. It really can.
Well, you don't have a team, do you? So you're doing it all.
That's right. You're your own editor. You are your own publicist. You're your own researcher. You are your own proofreader. And if you happen to screw up one day because you're a bit tired or something and you miss something, then you get that one review from that one guy who says, "Yeah, I like this book, but it was full of mistakes," and you're like, "No,
yeah,
no, I need to turn this around." And I feel so guilty because someone's bought the book and they've paid their money and I've let them down. I feel so ashamed of myself when that happens.
Yeah. So fun story for you guys. A little while ago, I got I created some designs for some abstract paintings that their little gimmick was that they contained a hidden message in full display. But the problem is I misspelled one of the names in there. And it doesn't work any other way. And I was like, fuck! Because I needed it to fit exactly 64 digits. But if I spelled it correctly, it just wouldn't work. And naturally, I didn't get the message or get the email back from the guys until like 10 p.m. one night when I'm trying to sleep. And now I'm up till 2 a.m. trying to work out like a different way to arrange the words.
That's always fun when you don't see the mistake until it's ready to go, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
no.
And all of it was because I don't care about celebrities for the most part. So like in this case, I needed it to spell out in Morse code, President Kardashian sucks.
That's kind of like I said, President Donald Turnip or something, instead of Trump.
Yeah, but like, damn. Yeah, but with the guys that I had created this thing for, they just kind of like ad-libbed the lore to their to whatever episode they're working on. So like at one point, like they introduce one of the co-hosts comes on. He's dressed up kind of like a very proper prim supervillain character, and just off the cuff, they're riffing what this guy's after, and it was like the dossier of President Kardashian is in our hands. Like, finally, we'll bring her down. Be like, no, she's going to law school, you bastard. So, she was going to turn it around. Yeah, no, they're great guys, but so I created.
I have a theory about proofreading, about why it's so hard. Those things they sometimes do on social media where they'll say, "Oh, if you can read this, you're a genius," and BS. But what they do is the words are in the right order, but they rearrange the letters of the words except the first and last letter. And because your mind is so
hypoglycemia
language, you kind of your brain still recognizes what the words are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because we have that facility to recognize what we're reading, even if someone tampers with the letters, you can be reading through something and it's full of typos, and yet your brain will do that. It'll compensate, and you're actually wanting to spot errors because you're proofreading, and yet your brain it will actually override the errors and say, "Oh, that just says this," and so you read right past it a lot of the time. Yeah. So, and it's always when you've just published it, or when you're got it actually all loaded up on Amazon, and you're just proofreading in the previewer, going from page to page, you'll suddenly spot something and say, I looked right at that yesterday. How the hell did I not see that error right there? It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that our brains do specifically to kind of like fill in the gaps that our like senses simply aren't aware of. Like a lot of people probably won't realize like that if you look at things through like a fisheye lens, that's about where our center of focus is. Like when it comes to our vision, like we have, foveal vision in the middle and peripheral vision on the sides, but that in between bit, we're completely blind there, and our brain just fills in the gaps.
Well, they make those T-shirts and things where they write FCUK or something, and your brain says it's the F word, even though they've rearranged the letters. And that's what I find. That's why I find typos so hard to spot when I'm proofreading, because I'll be reading along, and my brain will just read, oh, that's this word, even though it might have a typo in it or a missing letter or something.
Yeah, and then
later on, someone points it out to you. Oh, this is wrong. It doesn't say. This was supposed to say false. Instead, it says FASE. Where's the L? What? There's no L? No.
It's just flash.
Face. With new spelling of face.
Or sale?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I often spot that there'll be a letter will be missing it, and I'll think, how did I miss that? And it's because my brain has read it as the word.
Yeah.
And then you have the problem if you read it so many times that your brain is like, you get bored of your own work. It's like, I don't even see it anymore. It's just fine. It looks good. Fine.
Yeah, it becomes
you can't concentrate because you're so over it.
Yeah, it becomes like a phonetic version of highway hypnosis where you're just like, okay, just going through the motion, yada yada yada, not even paying attention at this point.
So like white line fever, as they call it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. I've read my first chapter so many times, I'm sick of it. So I'm just not even editing that chapter anymore. I'm just like, whatever, it's fine.
That's why comedy.
You should get one of us to read it.
Yeah, I was gonna offer. Do you need help?
It's funny anymore.
Yeah, there you go, Rachel. Proctor's offered to read it over for you.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Oh, I'll subject you to a romance novel. See how you feel about it.
Yes, but isn't it fantasy romance? It's got some swords and stuff in it, right?
This is a straight contemporary romance, which I've never written before, so we'll see.
So this is going to be all kind of, she felt his hardness through the cotton trousers and that sort of thing.
I'm being a good girl. I'm being a good girl.
I thought you said it was romance.
Well, it's a romance, but it's not smut. It's how I would like a romance to be written. And my cats are deciding to kill each other right now.
So I hear. Goddamn.
Oh my God.
It's more based on your romantic life rather than actual reality.
Yeah, very, very vanilla.
Nothing wrong with
my
that.
wife just published a women's romance novel. It's also contemporary romance, and she also based it off of some of her own experiences of just sort of rebuilding and reinventing her life from when she was younger to where she ended up in life, I guess. So she took some inspiration from that theme of woman sort of trying to find a new path in life. So she tried to write a quality novel, and still have the romantic, I guess, core of it. But yeah, she sort of did the research and said, they do kind of expect in a romance novel that there will be some steamy sort of action at some point. So, she found that she wanted to do it very tastefully because she didn't want to. Again, she was very resistant to it being smutty. So, like you said, it's kind of vanilla, I guess you could say. But still, there is one bit which is a little bit explicit. So I said, "Oh, you did actually go the extra mile." But she said, "Well, she said the readers expected apparently." apparently. So oh, okay,
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
I haven't actually read it, but I've read enough of it to know that the character and plot parts are good. I didn't read the steamy sex scene. I sort of
Oh, come on. You
No,
didn't
you
read the
liar.
selling point.
You fucking
Come on
liar.
now.
money shot.
But there is a whole subgenre of romance where you don't have to add any spice to it. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
she said it's
interesting.
low heat. Low heat.
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe it.
Low heat. I like that.
Low
The
heat.
simmering romance.
Yeah.
It's
Like they might
simmering,
get there eventually.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Trying to
So it's
they're trying to
tasteful,
achieve the tantric orgasm by fucking eye contact alone.
Oh no! Apparently they get a bit more. They get a bit more physical than that. But she just said it's just very tastefully done. I thought,
I
okay.
think it's very
Mhm.
Amish lovemaking.
Yeah. There you go. As opposed to what Romanticy's doing.
The Guide to Amish Lovemaking in a four-page pamphlet glory, 2 pages of which are the cover. And one of the other pages is the contents.
Oh, the shame of it is that would probably sell as a joke.
It really would.
She did all these artistic sort of cover designs too, and then the ladies on the forums that she looked at all said to her, no, if you want to get sales, you just forget all that crap about trying to be artistic and have a thing which conveys the plot. Just have a guy with his shirt off.
Hunky man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the hunky guy with his shirt off. So she sort of caved at the end and said, "Oh,
Big fantasy monster nowadays."
Yeah.
Oh God, some of them. Oh my God.
Right.
Like the latest one going around is, I think, a Minotaur romance novel, and I'm like,
I have seen the image.
Why would you even want that?
Date the Minotaur?
Yeah, so like clearly none of these people actually understand the female anatomy at all.
Well, I mean, the whole mermaid thing always got me. It's like, well, okay, sure, but what the hell? That's
dude, you gotta roll them around in the sand and look for the dry spot. That's how that works.
how that works. I used to do a lot of fishing with my dad when I was a boy, so
clearly
the idea of a fishwoman is just like, nah.
No, the smell alone.
Oh no!
God,
we've gone a different direction, guys.
Unless I can do a
it started out so wholesome.
I know I'm distracted with putting the link up everywhere, but if you can try and keep it relatively fish free, that'd be good.
Okay, back to
We're
the
trying. Okay.
Minotaurs, mermaids,
centaurs.
Yep.
Werewolves. That's the
biggest popular than vampires.
Amish sex, tantric sex.
Yeah.
This is what I call a civilized discussion.
An Amish sex tank.
Yep.
Tune in to the Outcast Creative and get your mind expanded with discussions on the following topics.
Well, indeed.
Our techniques guarantee the male orgasm.
Oh my word. Rachel, you're laughing though. You're laughing, Rachel. That's a good thing.
Yep. It's all that matters.
I need the laugh. I need it.
Days like this, fucking yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a bit of I know. I got a message off of Drinker earlier tonight. And he said, "Are you going to be moderating on Open Bar tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there." He said, "Yeah, good. That might be a bit testy in there tonight. Rough couple of days." And I was like, "Yeah."
How's he going?
No shit. Yeah, I mean, there's that. I didn't talk about this, but there was that murder of that girl on the subway?
Yep.
And is it right that sort of, I mean, obviously, you read the news, you don't know exactly what's true and what's not, but is it right that no one did absolutely anything I know there were police in the very next carriage as well. No one tried to intervene.
Nobody even made a move to help her.
Yeah.
They just let her sit there and die.
I mean, okay. I mean, you know, if there's a psychotic black guy with a bladed weapon, I'm gonna. As much as I want to be the hero, I'm definitely not going to sit there and do nothing. But I'm going to think twice about: am I going to steam in, or what am I going? You know, what's the best scenario with the best outcome here? That doesn't involve 2 people dead. But oh, look at that, Keith, you legend! That's 2 orders I've taken on the stream already.
So this
awesome.
That's fantastic. Appreciate that, buddy. Thanks
First
very
American.
much.
Hell yeah.
I'll put the link up for the UK softback in the chat as well, just in case there's any late insomniacs or people watching tomorrow. I'm just putting these. Now what I've got to do is go onto YouTube. And I just have to go to every single stream I've ever done and put this link in. I'm not doing that, but I am gonna. I'm just going to add it for the ones that are for tomorrow, for example.
So was that the Ukrainian girl who was murdered?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think the guy targeted. I don't think he targeted her because she was Ukrainian, right? Or did he? I don't know.
No, she was just there.
No, she was just there, and she happened to be the type of victim he was looking for.
Was this in America or in?
Yeah, it was here in the US.
Right. Which part of the US?
I think it was in New York, or isn't somewhere with a subway. I'll check.
It's on the coast. I can't remember now.
I think it was East Coast for sure. It was East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I watched the video of it and just.
Oh, I can't.
Even after he was gone.
So it's Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, which is really shocking to me.
Yeah.
That's more shocking to me than if it was in New York.
Yeah.
Do they have any?
I mean, isn't that like Dawson's Creek territory? You know, it's all supposed to be kind of nice little inlets and
just chill, chill suburban area.
Crime.
Not really. You never hear anything about them.
Lots of hot girls and stuff at the colleges and whatnot, and romance and stuff. I mean, maybe I've got a very rose-tinted view of that part of the world, but that's what Dawson's Creek told me.
Did they ever find a motive for the killer?
Yeah, say if you're thinking of early 2000s colleges.
The motive, so far, just that he's crazy.
Yeah. The dude's been
that's it.
Mental health thing again, isn't it?
Yeah, and the dude's committed 14 other assaults, and he's still out on the loose.
Oh my God. 14.
Yeah,
over the years.
Yeah, we don't lock people up over here, you know.
Apparently,
I thought you did. I thought it was big business to lock people up.
Yeah, like the joke for the longest time was that we'll take all of our violent people and ship them off to Texas for expedited.
That's sort of the argument, isn't it? In I gather. I mean, I'm in Australia, so obviously, pardon my ignorance, but
it's okay.
And I'm not here to judge other people's countries, but I always thought that was one of the big debates in America was whether or not to have really to be tough on people with the law and to lock them up, or to be more sort of liberal minded and assume that it's mental health issues and to try and help people. So I gather America is quite divided about the approach.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been pretty ridiculous over the past decade or so. We've really loosened up and on a lot of stuff, and we're told to be extra tolerant of immigrants and certain people because they look a certain way and yada yada yada. We have to understand that they're violent for a reason, and we can't just punish people for what they do. We have to actually understand and be empathetic and blah 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 blah. But
so here in Australia, we currently have a very pro-immigration government, and there's people in politics are losing their jobs for speaking out. about the impact it's having on
Mate,
our
that's
country.
great. You can take all of ours. We've got loads to spare, man. So we'll just send them to Australia.
Right.
I mean, it's a longer boat trip, but they're used to that.
Likewise.
So, you know.
But yeah, there really is. There really
we
is
could ship them all to Antarctica.
There is this
That would be
question
fun.
around.
It would be the one place that nobody cares about.
I guess I look at it that the
Swim
world's
home,
got
bitch.
a lot of problems. Do we want the world's problems in our country? You know, if
No.
we're importing people from all over the country all over the world who hate one another's guts, you know, aren't they just going to come here and keep on hating each other's guts?
Talking about Antarctica.
It does happen.
Sorry, Adrian. Finish your point, mate. Sorry.
Oh no, it's just, you know, we do bring violent people into the country, and everyone talks about the benefits of immigration, and I don't see any benefits, but what I do see is, like, for example, a Jewish guy working at an Australian university. He was a professor at a university. You know, he was a lecturer. Got bailed up in his office by a bunch of people who are pro-Palestinian, and they terrorized this guy in his office, and threatened to kill him and stuff. But you know, so he said, I hope they get expelled from the university, because you know, these were students terrorizing a professor because on the grounds that he's Jewish. You know, because of the Palestinian-Israel conflict. This is Australia. We're at the arse end of the earth, man. We're so far away from Palestine and Israel. It's not funny. And yet we've got all of these marches and protests and things, and Palestinian flags, and people blocking the street here when you're trying to drive to work and stuff, carrying on about it. It's like, what do you expect Australia to do about it?
Right?
Our prime minister's got no influence. We're a tiny little, we're a big landmass, but we're a tiny little nation of 26 million people.
Getting
We've
away
got no
from
influence. We can't make
my most
Israel pack up and
political
leave.
stream ever. Funny enough.
Well, unfortunately.
Sorry,
unfortunately, we have to talk about it sometimes.
I wanted to get back to Antarctica. That's all right. I said at the beginning of this stream, I
want to get back to Antarctica.
This stream
is that where we're going to send all the troublemakers? You reckon?
Yeah. No, mate. I had a question for my panelists to see if anybody knew the answer to this. I remember quite distinctly a news story about 3-4 months ago. It was some American research station. One of the staff had gone, you know, they'd lost their shit, and they'd like attacked several other people in the station. So yeah, they got cabin fever. Several people were injured, and what I can recollect of the story is that everybody basically said that they wouldn't continue working there until this person was removed, and and they were forcing either the funders or the company to do that. And it was a big story when it happened, because somebody got injured, somebody got stabbed. I think someone got stabbed, and then you didn't hear anything more about it. And I kind of wonder what was the outcome there. You know, does anyone remember that story?
I do not. That's
no. It's one of those things that got lost in the news cycle, probably, with everything else that they put in front of us every day.
Do you know what really gets me these days? This is the thing which really sort of, you know, I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theory sort of a person at all, because I think conspiracies require far more intelligence and organizational capacity than most of our politicians have actually got. So I don't really believe in government conspiracies. I believe in incompetence and cronyism, but not conspiracies. But what really gets me is it seems like whenever there's a policy in the government, there's the media, and it even goes to like advertising, you know, even the ads you see always seems to support whatever's the going trend in the government or policy in the government. It's like everyone's in on it. And it sort of makes me wonder, are they, like, is there some sort of policy the government's got where, you know, you can't operate in the media or as an advertiser or something if you don't toe the line? Or is it some sort of cronyism where they're being, you know, given funding and you know, or is it just an understanding between all of them that we're all sort of on the same page? But the fact that it's the amount of unity in the message is what the the top-down message to the ordinary people is so unified. And I mean, at the moment, there's this whole thing of, you know, despite the we obviously see conflict between people who we've brought in from various parts of the world who don't like each other. The message is constantly that, oh no, this is great, you know, that these people are here, and it's everywhere. I mean, it's in coffee ads, you know, it's in soap operas, it's not just in what the politicians say, it's in absolutely everything.
It's in,
you know, it seems like a unified message.
Yeah,
I find that really weird that there's no disparity.
Yeah, I say, like, there's even like government-funded video games that have been completely funded by like taxpayer dollars that are pushing very specific messages. Like recently, me and some friends have been doing some research on one called Take Us North, which was funded by, you know, Microsoft, and is all about illegal immigration.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And it's strange that we live in a world where if someone says, don't break the law, that's controversial.
I gotta tell me, man. So I got friends over in the UK and like can't even say I love bacon over there. But if you go to Morocco, that's not a problem. That's fucking weird.
Wow. That is, yeah. That's really weird. Actually, when I first came on the stream this morning, just before that, you guys were all talking about the death of Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
And yeah, I'd seen him on TV. I mean, as I say, I'm in Australia, so he was just an American guy to me.
Yeah.
But you know, I was in tears when I heard the news because he seemed like such a nice young guy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know necessarily what all of his politics were, but I mean, he was what, 31?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, in your 20s, you're still sort of working life out. That's the way I remember it, because I'm nearly 60. So you know.
So your brain finally develops around 25.
So here's a guy who's like 10 years older than my own kids, you know, and he's been shot dead. I think, okay, you know, maybe people didn't agree with what he said or whatever, but I mean, you know,
but that's no reason to kill the dude. Like as as we were saying earlier, like
I'm sure he wasn't pro-murder. I'm sure he didn't go around saying
absolutely not.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
the opposite, in fact. But
yeah, like Lance and I were talking earlier, and I described, like, from what I see of the dude, he and I would have virtually nothing in common. But I guarantee you, irrelevant of the subject that we were discussing, at no point would it become uncivil.
Yeah.
Right.
Apparently, what they were saying that just before he got shot, there was like some people with like a transgender flag. And he said to him, "Hey, come up and talk to me. Let's have a conversation. You know, let's be part of the conversation, guys." You know, so he seemed like he was a pretty open guy. You know.
Yeah, from what I saw of the recordings. Yeah, and from what I saw of recordings, he was actively talking to one of those transgender people, like when he was shot.
Right.
God knows what motivated the shooter.
Right.
I mean,
well, there's. I mean, I saw, like I said, there was a report an hour ago. Maybe that's been updated. Maybe it hasn't. Saying that it might have been a transgender activist. But I mean, the thing is, right, is that the trans community is no more a united front than the gay or lesbian community is on any one particular issue. For example. There is a huge percentage of the lesbian community, especially in the UK, who feels very strongly that women's only spaces should be for biological women only. I can't say that I disagree with them, and that
well, I've got a wife and a daughter, and I don't want them to go into a loo and there's a bloke in there.
No, and that women only sport, should be, you know, again, for biological women only. And again, I can't say I disagree with them on that either. But it's not a united front. There are liberal people within that community who have, views the other direction. They're never all going to agree on everything.
Do you think?
And
do you think
this
one of
is,
the problems is that maybe we sort of have a media and that sort of and a government, I guess, as well, that tends to sort of oversimplify issues.
I mean, maybe
Yes.
that sure, that's definitely part of it. I mean, I think
like dividing it into just
I think what
right, wrong, you know.
I think one thing that he definitely had right, which a lot of politicians have wrong, is that especially in British politics, you see it. You know, when you watch our politics, when you watch our live debates in the House of Commons, they're pathetic. And because one person stands up and makes a point, and the other person stands up on the other side of the bench and tries to say something funny, retort, "Oh, does my right honourable friend mean that they're actually, you know, what happened to the policy they did 5 years ago and all this? Who gives a fuck? You know, just talk about what you're actually going
The gotcha
to do."
thing, yeah.
It's a game of one-upsmanship, not about the truth.
One-upmanship and the gotcha
and
moment.
this is what my dad used to say about British politics. It's all nonsense, and it is. It's all bollocks. And I think maybe this guy will become, and I hope it's the case actually, that he'll become some sort of symbol for. Actually, we all need to talk. You know, we all need to talk, and we all need to listen, and you know, and not just be the loudest voice in the room, not just be the person who shouts the other person down. Therefore, I'm right. You know,
it's so sad because people's political views also change and evolve over their lifetime. I mean, this
they
guy
do.
was
I don't feel the same.
Young kids and a young wife, you know.
Yeah, I don't feel the same about Australians, you know, all being convicts and stuff like I used to when I was a teenager. Now I know some of them aren't. And, you know, there are a couple of them that don't have. I won't expect shrimps on the barbie.
Were the convicts really convicted fairly? I mean, from what you know, when I was in school, the teachers would tell us that in order to have a workforce to build a colony over here, that the British government, you know, changed the law so you could get you know 10 years hard labour deported to Australia on a ship on a year-long voyage. Because you were in poverty and you stole a loaf of bread one day when you were starving to feed your kids, you know. So they were like petty crimes, and they got massive sentences, you know, which included being shipped to another country where there was nothing.
We sent a load of our kids, didn't we? We sent you a load of our kids in World War II. But you know, that was helpful because that was useful for all the pedophiles that were there and stuff. So that gave them something to do. You know, kept them.
So you will never backtalk your mom again.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
oh my God.
you know. Anyway, it's been a really light conversation tonight.
God.
Listen, we have a very dry sense of humour here. All joking aside, it's actually
you imagine how effective that would be for the kids back at home, though. Like, you don't want to know what happened to the neighbor's kid. Like, I'd watch your mouth if I were you.
Let's not go down that road.
Okay.
But I already took us too far. I'm trying not to push us off the cliff.
Walk that back, Lynn.
Trying to pull us back, but we're too far gone.
Walk it back, man. You can
back a bit.
Shut it down, boys. We've gone too far.
No, I do hope if one positive thing comes out of this, it's that more people will follow that guy's example in terms of going around and talking to people and listening, because the politics has become too much about this cat and mouse one-upmanship bullshit, and it's not really politics. It's just trade, isn't it? It's just trading, and you know, how can I get rich? I mean, I think a lot of politicians do go in for noble intentions and always come out the other side of how can I get rich? What's my book deal? Right. You know, all of that shit. How many properties can I own, Mr. Blair, and so on.
We had a public figure here, probably 25 years ago now, who was I think it was an Olympic gold medalist or something. Someone who was a real national hero. Decided to go into politics, and anyway, this person left politics after only about 12 months, And when they said, "Why did you leave after just 12 months when you went in with all these big ideas?" Because this was a really respected, famous Aussie outside of politics, and probably didn't need the money or anything. I think what this person ended up saying was, "Well, because I can't lie. I'm not going to lie to the Australian people, and that's what they expected me to do." So I figured, well, to hell with it, and I left. Going into politics was a mistake. So that was really eye opening. That someone who was famous outside of politics here in Australia went into it, and then left and said the reason I left was I wasn't going to let them pressure me into lying to the people.
I mean, it's not eye opening for me. I basically would have just come up to them and said, "Yeah, right, told you so."
Yeah. Oh, I mean, this was 25 years ago, so I was a lot younger back then. So it was interesting at the time, But yeah, nowadays.
Who was this individual?
I'm trying to think who it was. It might have been Dawn Fraser. It was someone famous in Australian Olympic sport, I think.
Right.
We've had a couple of famous Aussies, who've been famous for various reasons, acting or something like that, have gone, or music, have gone into politics. One guy stayed, and I think one guy became a local member or something. But yeah, it was very interesting that this Olympian sort of went in and came out and went, "No, they're a bunch of dishonest, manipulative liars, and I wasn't prepared to play that game, so to hell with it, I'm out."
Yeah. Well, hey, that's not unexpected. I think that's the bottom line.
I think if you've got real integrity, you probably do end up walking out.
100%. Yeah, find me an honest politician. Find me one.
Challenge impossible.
Yep.
Yeah, what's that? Isn't that Gimli that says something along the lines of that? Show me your sword, horse master, and I'll show you mine, and whatever. I don't know. It's kind of
bring me one honest politician, and I'll spare the land.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up there because it's 1:45.
Understood.
And I've got my 6-hour live stream coming up in 12 hours or something. So,
well, you get some sleep, man.
Rachel's going to be popping back on some of that with me. But thanks, guys, for popping on. I thought it would be a good way of me staying up to see if this book was going to go live, and it worked. So,
yeah, it did.
The Rave book is now live. It's out there.
It's fantastic. Great achievement. Congratulations.
Thank you, mate. I think
I'm so proud of you.
that I'm gonna play us out with the full length version of the song today if I can fucking find it. I was looking.
Oh yeah, your channel song has really grown on me. I really like
it. Yeah. Retro Nerd Girl. Retro Nerd Girl did that for me, and it has to be said. It's fab. It's great.
You did a great job.
And you're going to be on with Drinker later.
I don't know if Drinker's coming on, but there's going to be various people popping on. Whether he'll have time to pop on or not, I don't know. I am doing a stream with Drinker later this month about the various incarnations of the Magnificent Seven films, and we're going to tie that into my play going up. So we're going to do like Battle Beyond the Stars, the Seven Samurai, the various Magnificent Seven films, and Dirty Dozen and stuff like that. So yeah, but so that's it from us. So I will be back at 6 p.m. UK time with my mega stream launching my book tomorrow. That'll be 6 p.m. until midnight. Thanks to Proctophile, Adrian the Australian, back, and Rachel Percy Art for coming on.
See you later.
All three of you are always welcome. Don't forget to throw some shrimps on the barbie.